Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Here in Portugal, it's good evening already. It's already dark outside. And I'd like to start by thanking everyone that's here now on the other side. I see there's around 11 people. So thank you for tuning in today. And this is just Breathe Live, which I hold every month and not on a fixed day. It's always on a Sunday, but not on a fixed day and a fixed time, just for the sake of keeping the flow and changing things a bit. It used to be every second Sunday, but now it is one Sunday per month at whatever time is announced. So this week I didn't receive any specific question, so I will go on with my sharing around different themes that have come up over the week to share here today. But I'd like to start, as usual, with just a nice touch base into our breath. Hello, Doris. Hello. And hello, everyone else who is here that I can't see, but I can feel. So, to begin our Just Breathe today, let's just breathe. I invite you to, hi, Dina. I invite you to close your eyes and take a sweet, deep breath through your nose. Inhaling all the way down into your belly. And then exhaling also through your nose. Allowing yourself to feel this exquisite breath that comes and fills you and nourishes you and warms you. All the way down into your belly. And as you become fully aware of your breath and gently surrender to it, I invite you to spread into it. Just feeling your presence expand within the breath, within your body. Allowing yourself to sink into the breath in a sweet surrender. Just allowing it to become a pair of warm, loving arms directly from your essence that come and just cuddle and embrace you. And that you feel, receive, and allow. Thank you. Just bathing in this breath of yours in this now moment. Allowing yourself the grace of the feeling of your essence, of you as a whole. The grace of merging into your breath and allowing it to find its own rhythm, its own expansiveness. Allowing your breath to give you more right now. And breathing even deeper, I invite you to very gently open your eyes, fully here, fully now. Just basking in that warmth, in that beautiful grace of your own embrace. And I'd like to start with a theme that, for those of you who are acquainted with the Crimson Circle and Adamus, a theme that's been repeated and shared over at least the last year very, very often, which is the theme of benching and shining our light. And I would like to share my view and perception of what exactly that means. To me, it's not literally necessarily sitting on a bench in a park or wherever you find one. It's more of sitting within your core, within my core, sitting within this space that we are now in, that is a space that is always there, a space that is comfortable and safe and warm and loving, a space that is fulfilling, that is abundant, joyous, complete. Sitting in that space whilst going about my day. And so not dwelling upon things or not mulling things over around, for instance, the circumstances of the world right now, around who might be wrong or right, also around anything, just not being caught up in any kind of specific train of thought. And just being in that fulfilling now moment here in my private bench deep down within me. And in this detachment from the different nuances that are going on within each different person, within the world around me, in that detachment, living the spaces in between. And by that I mean experiencing the space where there is just stillness, just joy, just infinite possibilities, where there is that unconditional love that is so spoken about, where there is infinite compassion, there is no need to pursue this or that avenue of opinion. It's just a space of radiating presence, and a presence that is so present in the here within me and the now, right now, that I am not caught up in any kind of anything, just experiencing, just enjoying. So I could be benching while I am watering my vegetable garden, or while I am lying in bed, or while I am going for a walk in the countryside, or while I am driving my car, or so many different experiences while I'm washing the dishes or whatever. It's not necessarily having to sit for long periods of time doing supposedly nothing, which is also a possibility and a very beautiful one to enjoy. It is really being attached to nothing, not feeding any kind of avenue of belief system, being open, being available, and allowing the sense of awareness that is showering through from my essence to bathe my cells, to be here in all of my body, to just shine out through all of the pores of my skin, to just fill the space I am in each moment, wherever I am, to pave the way, to spread out the red carpet for my passage. That for me is benching and shining my light. And in doing so, from a space of peace, of being at peace with being human in a physical body on earth, and at the same time being an infinitely wise divine being that is expressing or experiencing through this physical body. There is really nothing else to do. But then I can choose a myriad of creative ways of experiencing this benching. I can be writing. I can be having a session with someone. I can be right here, right now, with anyone and everyone who is here. It's just that simple. But it requires absolute compassion. The knowingness that all is well in all of creation. Just allowing the tide of time and space to flow through me as I dance with it. And in this, I would like to jump into a theme which is heard very often within the spiritual scenario within the spiritual scene, which is the theme of selflessness. So many masters in many different beliefs and countries and um, eras of mankind have shared about selflessness. And that term is usually perceived as putting others first and just letting go of the need to have to put ourselves first. This is how it's usually perceived. And so I'd like to share my perception of selflessness. Selflessness occurs as well in the midst of that profound compassion, where if there are aspects to be integrated, if there are any parts of us that are hanging around, we are not attached to them. We are just present to them, aware, and therefore selfless, because we are not assuming a self in particular. So that sooner or later, these parts not being fed or used in any way will eventually feel that, I will just come back home. Selflessness is that not needing to assume a particular form or trait of personality to feel identified with and to feel that we are this someone or that someone. It's being detached from the need to be someone in particular. And in that, then of course, being available to support whoever comes our way, again, without an attachment, without an agenda, without an expectation. Selflessness, for me, can only be possible in profound love for oneself. Because only in that profound love can we surrender so completely to the love affair with our divinity that nothing that we have been, said, or done is an obstacle towards that surrender. Nothing keeps us stuck in time and space in whichever experience we deem to be stronger or more relevant than this surrender, this love. Selflessness is possible only when we can be so present, so available for compassion to take over, that any and all parts will eventually converge towards the core of us, towards that huge, endless lake of our essence, where all was born from in the first place. Selflessness is not needing to be anything or anyone in particular, and yet being able to be all. To embrace all. First, all of ourself, each and every single part. And then we can see others from that selflessness without being attached to any particular story or idea we have around them. With the same openness that we have had for our own bits of identified self. And the reason why I'm sharing about selflessness is because one of the recurrent themes throughout the week within the people I've been working with and what I've been observing is a bit of a difficulty to let go of identifying with certain thoughts and beliefs, which are attached to certain ways of being and behaving and thinking. And I'd like to bring up the fact that our inner language, what we think of ourselves, and it doesn't matter if it's coming from our conscious mind or from our unconscious or subconscious, our inner dialogue around ourselves is decidedly what colors our reality and the way it then comes our way. And so, if by any chance you find yourself recurrently going into a kind of a self-sabotaging inner dialogue in which eventually you feel unworthy, or you know you're not unworthy but you get angry because you're thinking you're unworthy and you shouldn't, or incapable, or any of those different kinds of self-depreciating thoughts. So when these thoughts come up, and even if you know you are not that, as soon as you eventually get angry at yourself or frustrated because you're still thinking that, then you're caught up in the thought all over again. And so what will happen, and this then also ties into what you think others think of you, and it does something really extraordinary. It implants these thoughts of yours in other people's minds, making them think the things you think about you. And so then, when you encounter them, you will have the exact interaction that proves that this self sabotage is correct. It's right. You are unworthy. You are whatever it is. And so, at a certain level of consciousness um, of your journey of conscious evolution, your thoughts become all the more powerful. And then your words, even more powerful than the thoughts, the words you express. And then, of course, the actions, even more than the words and the thoughts. And this is always like this. But the point is that the more consciously aware you are of yourself as a divine human, the more powerful you become. And so, the speed at which your thoughts make reality happen is much faster and much more effective. So, whatever it is that you're thinking about yourself will quickly make itself known in your surrounding environment. And so, okay, very well. Now, how does one change that? It's simple is yes, okay, there's a thought comes up about how inappropriate, inadequate, whatever it is you are. And instead of going into any kind of point proving with that thought, you become aware of it and you let it go, just like you would let go any other thing that you are consciously aware is not true. And sure enough, you don't get angry or frustrated with yourself. You don't get impatient. You don't treat yourself badly just because there's this thought that came up that you shouldn't be having in what you perceive to be right and wrong. It comes up, you don't want it, you let it go. Simple as that. And the more you become capable of doing this, the easier it becomes and the more it becomes a flow. And of course, if these thoughts are coming up, it's because there's some sort of an aspect that is believing in them. So sooner or later, you'll become aware of that aspect. And again, okay, just accept it. In whatever moment in time that part of you was created, it believed so, that it was like that. But you in the here now know it's not so. So why would you even want to interact with that kind of reasoning? It is that simple. And it is also important to be aware of what you express, what you're talking about, who you're talking about, and how you're talking about others or yourself. Because when you put those thoughts into words, you move energy. And so, if you'd like to use your words to move energy in a productive way for you, go ahead, use them consciously. Be aware of what you're expressing, whether it is about yourself or anyone else. Know that each time you talk about something, someone, you are moving energy. Because it is from our thoughts, from our words, and our actions that reality is created. So this ties into the selflessness I was talking about. If you're not attached to a certain kind of belief, you realize it's a belief, you can just let it go. It comes to your awareness, you let it go. I call this disruptive awareness. It's the kind of awareness where you disrupt the connection, the attachment, and you just let go. And so, within this, I'd like to invite you to become aware around the thoughts about your thoughts around being a realized master, enlightenment, and all of that theme. What are your thoughts? What do you believe? What do you believe it takes or is required or it should look like for you to be in that state that you really feel you want to be in? And then again, have you created expectations around that? And then again, have you created self criticism around that? Because somehow you might feel you have not achieved something that you should have ever already achieved, and so on and so forth. And then all of this conversation going on in your mind. So, what is it that you believe being enlightened looks like? So, is there sort of a checklist and you have to tick all the boxes until that is your reality? Are you somehow looking around to see what others look like if they say that they are realized or enlightened or whatever, and you're trying to compare and see if you check with all of what you're perceiving around you, that does it make sense, doesn't it, whatever? How much of this need to even be enlightened or whatever is coming just from a kind of an entertainment that keeps you feeling unworthy and less than magnificent? Because at the end of the day, in the core of you, the essence that you are is already and has always been magnificent. And the human expression of that magnificence, you, have been so damn courageous. You have allowed yourself to experience just about everything and anything. And you keep on coming back for more. Wow. And notice that you are a miraculous creator because you create things that are what you believe, what you want to create, and that are beautiful and whatever. And you also create the opposite with as much precision, because you see, as a conscious creator that you are right now, you can use your magnificence, your magical capacities to create whichever way. So if you start getting into a train of thought that, oh, I don't I don't understand about this, or let's say technology. This is a recurring theme. Oh, I just don't get this. I don't know how to do it, whatever, and then on and on and on and on. And then you'll create such a tangle that you'll actually be able to do stuff that seems quite impossible to do. Just like you will create exactly the same thing when you say, yeah, oh yeah, I've got this. This is I'm going to allow myself to perceive this with ease and simplicity, and then you'll be able to do also things that seem quite impossible the other way. And this is in every area of life. So, my question to each and every one is, what does it take for you to really, really love yourself no matter what, and realize you are the magnificence? And in being the magnificence, just stop for a while. Look at your life and sense, is there really anything missing? Well, if you sense there is, then, and you sense what it is, go ahead and create it. And if you sense that in actual fact there is nothing missing, well, relax and enjoy. Enjoy this place here now, here on earth, where you are, without having to displace your consciousness to any other galaxy or planet or better place. And I know I've touched on this several times in other different sessions of Just Breathe, but it's worth repeating that, geez, your soul, our souls, because we're human, our souls have such a passion to experience this humanness, such a passion. But if the human is wanting to go somewhere else to experience the soul, then the soul never really gets to experience the passion of humanness from a standpoint of the love affair, of the connection, of the oneness of human and divine. And then we just keep on coming back over and over again until we say, okay, I surrender, I give in. Might as well show me why this place, why this body, why this humanness is so incredibly beautiful to you, dear soul. Show me. I will allow you. And with this, I will invite you to just breathe for a while. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. And just breathe into your allowing. Breathe deeply and softly through your nose. Breathe into your allowing. Allow your motivation tank, motivation for life on earth, to fill. To fill through your allowing. Just allow yourself to feel the inspiration, the joy of your soul for being in a human form. And yes, acknowledge those parts of you that have found it pretty challenging, hard, painful, even. Acknowledge, but relax into your allowing. For you see, dear one, there is no way to control ascension, expansion. No way to rig it up with ideas and beliefs. There's just this allowing of yourself to release the boundaries that you have placed in front of your magnificence. Allowing. And as we are breathing right now, I'd like to invite you to sense, how is your joy meter? And no matter where it is at, how can you make it go up even more? Just sense and feel and become aware with clarity of what makes your joy meter rise. Breathing deeply and softly through your nose. And as you perceive and become aware of what makes your joy meter rise, could you say yes to those different ways that you are perceiving? Could you say yes to any or all of them or whatever? Just sense, just feel. Just be here now and breathe. And as you are at it, maybe giving yourself a nice, warm, and soft hug. Hmm. Just physically feeling the hug from within. Might also raise that joy meter. Allow yourself to just simply be here now. The one, that creates, the one, that surrenders, the one that experiences and expresses. And I invite you to gradually start breathing even deeper, allowing the breath to circulate all the way through your body. In joyful gratitude to yourself, prepare to open your eyes. It feels so good to bask in this joint magnificence right now. Thank you for allowing. So, if there is anything that you would like to share, to say, to ask, whatever, you can do so in the comments, in the chat. And meanwhile, I will let you know that the beautiful session with Alexis, the monthly Living in the Flow, is coming up next Saturday at 12 p.m. Portugal time, 10 p.m. Brisbane, Australia. And also, if you enjoy these compassionate breath sessions, just stay tuned. They are announced on a monthly basis on random dates. And also, we are announcing the Ultimate Freedom experience, which is in June. You can find that on my website, inpassioncoaching.com, in InPassion Creations. And if you scroll down, you'll find Ultimate Freedom. This will be a joint collaboration between me, Alexis Sersha, Serena Faith Masterson, and Joana Ferreira. And it is definitely a space for the clarity of ultimate freedom. And that's basically, in this moment, there is sort of just this beautiful silence. So I can't remember anything else. You can find my books on my website as well. And these monthly Just Breathe sessions are such a pleasure. I love them so much. Thank you for being here, because that's what makes them so special. All of the people who join for this, either now or at a later date. Thank you, Dina, Maureen, Joanna, Nancy. Thank you so much. And just make sure that joy meter stays right high and your motivation tank full, and that this experience, which is possible, of the new earth, can be as magnificent as the whole of who you are. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everyone here. And as I said, so if you'd like to attend Living the Flow next week, we'll be here. The New Energy Waltz is the week after. We have now created a promotion if you want to look it up on the site. And well, I love you and I thank you so very much. See you for Just Breathe next month. The Portuguese Just Breathe will be next week as well. Bye bye. Loads of love. Loads of I love yous. True, true, true from my heart.